How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the OGs. I say it all the time. We need to be more consistent, but here we are 2 months later. May 9th, I think, was the last one we've done. It's now July 15th, but we've got a lot to talk about. Big up Curtis Shaw in the building. What are you telling me, Curtis? You good?
Yeah, good, bro. You know, we always have these plans, don't we? Like, yo, we're going to do this show every week, and then we do one, and then we don't do another one for 2 months. But that's why it's called OGs, bro. You know what I mean?
It's like that.
It gets like that sometimes. So at least
Yeah.
we're here and, got transfers to talk about and that.
Yeah, at the very least, I should
Yeah.
hope so. Mid July with preseason tour around the corner now. We need the players through the door, but yeah, we have got a lot to talk about. But other than that, life all good, bro.
Yeah, all good, bro. Can't complain. Family's good. How's things with you? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Come back from Cyprus, want to be back out there, but we got Singapore coming up, so
Yeah.
look forward to that after the flight. I can't see past the flights yet.
Yeah,
You
the
know them
flights are
ones.
tough, you know. Do you know what? I've never flown that far, you know. No, I don't think I've
No,
ever done 14 hours.
nor have I. Never.
Mm,
We've got to
yeah,
stop off as well, so I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah,
yeah.
once we get there, we can enjoy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Enjoy. Hopefully, there are special OGs out there as well if we get the time,
100.
the resources, the energy. But yeah, Arsenal, bro. Actually, we done the AFTV live one time during the
Yeah,
last few weeks, actually. So yeah, we did park off OGs over there for a night. But we're back here, people. So make sure you're subscribed here. Make sure you subscribe to Curtis Shaw TV. He goes live pretty much every day. And the watch alongs bang. You should already know what it is. If you don't get to know, his link is in the description below. But where do we begin? I mean, I guess it's only right to begin with the one that looks most over the line, and that's Noni, right?
yeah. I just see actually they're saying that could even be announced today or tomorrow. So I think he finished his medical. I see he was at Wireless, one he with Sancho at the weekend, and
Yeah. A couple man see
yeah.
me at Wireless. They're like, "Hey, Noni's here," you know. Bro, I ain't got a problem with the guy, bro. I got a problem with the club. You must
Man,
say,
think
"Yo,
you got
Noni's
beef
here."
with him.
They're like, back in the day when the ops are around, they're like, "Yo, he's
He's
around
here,
there."
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two people came up to me, "Yo, Madueke is there." I'm like, "Bro, I ain't got a problem with the guy, bro. It's the club moving mad. It's not Noni." But
Yeah.
yeah, I need to get my welcome video done if that's the case. We'll see how that one goes. But
Looking forward to
yeah,
that one.
but bro, yeah, Noni is the one most over the line after the ones that have gone over the line, Kepa, Norgard, and Zubimendi, which we've known about for a hell of a long time. And we actually spoke. That's been our biggest OGs. When I look back, the OGs we done after the United FA Cup exit,
Yeah.
talking about Zubimendi, that's been our biggest OGs. That was a 70K plus episode. That was our launch of that news. So we don't need to talk about that any further. Big up Max in the cut as well. I see you, my bro.
Big up, Max.
But Noni over the line, 52 mil all in, 48 plus 4 apparently. Hi. I mean, I've caught a few of your streams. You've probably caught a few of my breaking news vids. It's official now. You know, we've had a few sleeps, and what we feeling now? How you feeling now?
I think I compared it to Sunday night when you go to school when you're a kid and you've got double maths on Monday. You can moan about it all you want. At the end of the day, you got to just get through it. And your
Yeah.
algebra, you know what I'm saying? You've just got to get through it. And that's kind of how I am now, people. Like, I'm looking at Noni like, yo, I've complained. I didn't want us to sign him. I think he's an okay player. I don't think he's a bad player, but I don't think he's that good either. And I suppose what other choice have we got? We just got to hope that he offers something to the squad. And if I was really clutching at straws and trying to be positive about it, the best way that I can, if Saka's coming off in a game and let's say Sterling was coming on last season on the right, I think Madueke has got more than Sterling. The one thing that I think Madueke has got is he's a good dribbler and he's direct.
Yeah.
I think the problem with him is I don't think his end product is great. So Arteta's going to have to improve him. So I think we just got to get off his case now and just see what happens, see how it plays out. Hopefully, if he's just squad depth, then we won't. He ain't starting too often.
Talk to me about that, bro. Because 50 mil for squad depth.
I know, bro, and this is the thing. When have we ever dropped 50 million on squad depth? And that's what concerns me, man, because I look at it like this, bro. You got to think, if for us to get Madueke out of Chelsea to come to Arsenal, bear in mind this guy said Chelsea are the biggest club in London and all that when he signed for him. He's in the England squad. I heard Ornstein saying, oh, he's left Chelsea for Arsenal because he needs to play more in a World Cup year. But everyone's telling me we're signing him as a backup to Saka. So if Palmer's keeping him out the Chelsea team, Saka's going to keep him out the Arsenal team. We must have sold it to him by saying, look, Saka's torn his hamstring. You'll get a little bit of rotation for him on the right. But, right now, that left-hand side's not great. Like, you might be able to get in the team on the left-hand side. That, to me, is how I think they've sold it to him. And they've probably doubled the wages as well. Because why would you leave Chelsea's bench to go on Arsenal's bench? His agent must have said, bro, you're better off potentially playing left wing for Arsenal than being benched at Chelsea, where they've got Gittins now, they've got Esteval, they've got Neto, they've got Palmer. He's probably fifth choice winger at Chelsea going into the season. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you, bro. When have we really spent £50 million on squad depth? So I've got this feeling Madueke is going to play a lot more than people think.
I think so. I think all signs point to that. 50 million outlay, it's not something we take lightly. I said recently, I think it's top 5 transfers in our history. I think it's actually 6th if you bring in Zubimendi as well. And some people I see someone in the comments saying it's not even top 10, but it is. I can only think of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Aubameyang, Zubimendi, like I just said, and Nicolas Pepe, that outright cost more. We don't generally do that. So it must be left wing, bro. It must be left wing. And I know he's played a few times there for Chelsea, but I haven't watched enough of him. And let me go back to the start of the season. I done a show for the club. I think it was my first show for the club. And I was asked that top 10 players so far this season. I think I put Madueke 10th. It was early on in the season. Okay. He was taking man on. He was direct. He was scoring goals. He was coming in into the box at the right time. I thought, there's something about him. Midway through the season on Big Six, I said, Matisse, he's probably been your best winger. It probably is your best winger all in. It's not saying much because Sancho's fallen off and Neto hasn't hit the ground running and so on, but he probably has been. So in terms of the player himself, I think he's decent. I think there is potential there. But I thought we was at a place where we needed kind of, someone coming in that's kind of been there, done that a little more than let's find out if they can go in and do it, especially in a position we haven't seen the most of him in. So I can't look past it either. I think he is our left wing, as much as I've been banging the drum about Rodrigo for a long time in terms of his availability, and it's looking like it's the case now. In the next week or so, we should hear that he's available. I don't think we go into that deal because it just doesn't feel like something, we generally do. And that's go over and beyond in a transfer window. If we do, that's what we need to. Finally, it'd be nice if the club went over and beyond at least once to see if they can get over the line and leave all excuses behind. But with the outlay, with the age, with the, rumors and news, because he would probably get, on the face of things, more game time at Chelsea right now when you look at their options on the wings. Who have they got? Sancho's gone back. Sterling's gone back to Chelsea, but I'm sure his exit is planned somewhere along the line. Really, Chelsea's wing options haven't, they haven't grown over the last few weeks. So the news that he's more likely to get minutes here, it must be on the left. It must be on the left.
It must be. And it's funny because going into pre-season, I never thought we'd be going for a right winger because in my head I just saw Nwaneri as the backup to Saka. I thought he did well with it.
Yeah.
And then you obviously heard that we were in for Mbeumo, but Mbeumo's obviously chose United because he's going to start every week there. I think the biggest overall thing for me is just I don't think he's worth the amount of money we've paid for him. That's the thing I can't get my head around. If you get him for 25 million, you go, for 25 million, you take a gamble. 25 million championship players cost 25 million. We dropped 50 M's on him, bro. And when you're looking at, like you said, over the next week, we might find out that Rodrigo's available. Rodrigo's going to cost at least 70 million. He's already on 200 grand a week. And you have this feeling that because you've even seen stories from some of the journalists saying, you know, that kind of deal, or Eze, we might need to sell somebody to make that deal happen. So you think to yourself, why didn't you get what we need before getting the squad depth? Why not spend the big money on the left winger and the striker and then go, okay, we've got a bit of money here. Do we want Madueke as a backup? Because if Rodrigo becomes available and we can't buy him because we don't have the money, the first question you got to ask is, well, why did you buy Madueke then? Could you not have gone with Ethan as the backup right winger for 12 months and spent big money on the left winger? Because as we've gone live now, Liverpool have turned down a bid for
Yeah, I see
Luis
that.
Diaz. You see that, right?
Big,
67.5
big,
million.
yeah.
So that market's going to start moving. You know how it goes. One player leaves, domino effect. Are Liverpool going to go for Rodrigo, or is someone else going to go for him? So you just don't want Arsenal to be in a situation where if Rodrigo becomes available, we can't do it. But listen, like we say, he's through the door now. Let's just hope he can offer something, even if it's as an impact player.
That's a big offer that they've rejected as well. I can't lie to you. It
Is
doesn't
that
look like
was it in Europe?
yeah,
67.5.
euros. Yeah. So what's that? About 50, 58 mil, 55 mil pounds.
I think he's better than. I think he's worth more than that. You know, but the only thing though, he's 28 though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Is he
28.
28? I
He
rate
hasn't,
Diaz, man.
he's not a good player, but he hasn't kicked on like we thought he
No,
might kick on from that first 6 months or so. But yeah, he was still productive for them last year.
what do you get?
I just thought they might seek to, refresh it a little bit. But with them rejecting that bid, I don't think, Liverpool's name is in the hat for a Rodrigo if they're rejecting that
Maybe.
money for their current left winger. So maybe take their name out of the hat for that one. But obviously City and Chelsea are still lurking, and it would hurt just as much seeing a player of that ilk go to one of those clubs for different reasons, because I feel like he's one of the difference makers out there. And to be honest, if Diaz is being, valued at that fee, Rodrigo might be closer to the 80 mil that people are saying, 80, 90 mil. A player that's probably been there and done it if more consistently than Diaz has over the last recent years. I'd say so anyway. But yeah, I mean, Rodrigo that's a pipe dream, bro. That ain't happening. Like, let's be real. Eze is probably the next target, and I love that because Zubimendi is a great signing. Gyökeres is a great signing. If we can add Eze on top of that as well, and then see where we're at, hopefully can get that
Yeah.
done in a few weeks, which is probably not going to happen considering these men are flying to Singapore in a few days. But for you, if I was to ask Eze or Rodrigo, who would it be for you?
I mean, it's a tough question, but because Eze to me is better in a more central position, and let's be honest, he's not going to drop Martin Odegaard. So if we're buying them to play on the left, I'd rather see Rodrigo on the left than Eze. So I've got to go Rodrigo, just because of where he's going to be playing on the pitch, hugging the touchline, running at fullbacks, having to do that defensive work. I think that works more with Rodrigo than it does with Eze. Ideally, I think we should be signing both of them.
100%.
Some people will say, that's greedy. I want Eze to come in and challenge Odegaard for that attacking midfield spot, and then I want Rodrigo. Imagine having Rodrigo, Gyökeres, and Saka as your front three. You genuinely think we can win the title with that? You know what I mean? Genuinely.
100%. And then Odegaard and Eze behind, two very different tens. They can play together even. Their qualities could bounce off each other. Would be in a good position, bro.
Yeah. And that's doable, but it's whether they're willing to spend that kind of money and if they can sell players as well.
We've had unprecedented, and so far, I mean, all in, it's looking like if these deals get wrapped up like they should in the next 48 hours, it's looking like 170 mil all in. And I know, there's probably amortization involved in some of these deals, and the fees not being all up front. I get that, but just on the outlay alone, 170 mil is some way short of unprecedented. So I think this is the summer to be a bit greedy. Because last summer we tried to go in, essentially starving a little with how light the squad was, and we soon found out that was probably the main, thing people pointed at come the end of the season, whether it's through injuries and the lack of depth behind, or whether it's just the impact of such a light squad that cost us last season. So I don't think it's, a negative to want to be a bit greedy in the window. It would be nice to feel like, you know, we are over complete for once. We are not just complete, but we've added the touches to you know, make us feel like they want to go win the league now. So far, the numbers are in, because all of a sudden now people are, the narrative is, oh, you see, Turkish, you should have calmed down. Look, the play, nothing's really happened recently that indicates, you know, we are any closer to winning the league title. Gyökeres is a fantastic signing, 100%. You go for the biggest bagsman available, and he is the biggest bagsman available. So sign, seal, deliver that one, 100%. But so far, I just see him as the only real improvement to the starting 11. Obviously, Zubimendi, you know, much is said about him. How much better is he than Thomas Partey and so on? That's all good and well from what we've seen and know of Zubimendi, but how will he acclimatized to the Premier League, the physicality, the pace of it? Hopefully he hits the ground running, and that's a position that we've also already improved on from game week 1, because we need that improved on from game week 1, considering the difficulty of the fixtures, the first 6 fixtures of the season. Gyökeres for me is the guaranteed one that, looking at the options we had at the end of last season, he comes in completely different option, completely different reputation, completely different type of player. So he is, for me, the improvement on top of what we needed at the end of last season. Whereas Zubimendi, Norgard, Mosquera, Kepa, even Madueke, if you look at Sterling or Nelson exiting the club, they're all filling in a place that, on top of what we needed last season, became, you know, open over the next few weeks because of contracts ending or loans ending or whatever it might be. Do you feel the same, or do you feel like this transfer window is very different to what you know of Arsenal? Does it feel like that yet?
I think with the Gyökeres one, that's kind of changed the direction. I think if you're honest, let's say this Gyökeres deal wasn't happening and we'd bought Sesko, or we still hadn't bought a striker, I've still been sitting here throughout all these transfers going, not a bad signing, boost the squad. Gyökeres the first signing this window that's made me go, yeah, that's the one that makes a difference to this team. That's one that gets us closer to winning the title. Zubimendi is a very good player. It's whether he adapts to the league, whether he's better than Partey. You know, Partey was very good last season. With all the other ones, the Mosqueras, the Kepas, the Maduekes, I think all they're doing is sort of plugging gaps in the squad, because we were so short at times last season. We just had nothing on the bench. You're looking at next season now, starting next season, you'd expect to see Kepa, Ben White, Kivior, Calafiori, Norgard, Madueke, Nwaneri, Havertz, potentially Martinelli or Trossard. This is Arsenal's bench. Now, that's a decent bench. These players there that you know can come into the team and do a job. Kivior can step in. Nwaneri can do something. Maybe Trossard off the bench if you need a goal. Marino will be on the bench as well. Max Dowman, as people said, he'll get promoted as well. So I think Arteta felt we were so light last season that he needed to sort out that squad. I think now what we need to be sitting here with a top quality left winger. I would take Rodrigo, but I think we're going to probably get Eze because of the financial implications of it. You know, he's going to cost less money, less wages, ticks the English quota as well. And obviously there's a release clause there, so you know you can get him. So I think Gyökeres is the first sign in this summer that's made everyone go, that lifts the level of the starting 11. And that's what we need. We need another one or two of them if we're going to catch, you know, Liverpool. Because I'm still concerned a lot about Liverpool, because Newcastle buying Ekatike for 75 million.
There's something there,
I'm just like, are they going to buy in with Isak there? I just think, I just have this feeling Darwin Núñez is going to go to Napoli, Ekatike goes to Newcastle, and then Liverpool go big for Isak. And then is what we've done even enough if you see Isak converts, and it will be very difficult.
It's not yet enough, in my opinion, even just from Verts and the contract renewals over there, or even if it's just Pep Guardiola being in charge of Man City. I feel like to accommodate for both those things, you know, you need to go over and beyond. That's why, as much as yes, Gyökeres is a top sign, and yes, it's the striker I wanted out of the ones available. It's, you know, what else do you do on top of it? But yeah, you are. I mean, for you, if it is just Eze, do you set up Eze, Saka, and Gyökeres as the front three, or do you test the waters with Martinelli? Because now you look at Gyökeres, he can float out to the left. That's something Jesus used to do. That was Martinelli's best season, when Jesus produced that sort of running from that left-hand side support network, let's say. So I think it's not, the question is not, do we start, you know, anyone else left wing going into game week 1 bar Martinelli? I think he starts, if I'm honest with you. But do you think Eze looks to take that position, or do you think he looks to more central and look at Odegaard?
I think Eze would want to play where Odegaard's playing, but I think he'll be playing off the left. I think he'll just drift inside and be a bit different, because, I mean, Martinelli and Odegaard were poor last season. And the thing is, if you've got Gyökeres in the penalty area, the one thing you've got to do is create chances for him and get the ball to him. And Martinelli, a lot of the times last season, the amount of times he got 1v1 and the end product wasn't quite there. I don't know. Martinelli's one of these players. I've supported him for so long. I've even blamed the manager a lot of the time and said, "No, it's the manager's fault. You know, the system don't help him. He's got no left back, and Havertz saying in the area." You know, I've literally said everything to defend Martinelli, and I do kind of think there is some sort of player there. Like, you know, I wouldn't mind keeping him, even if you're just using him off the bench, because 2 years ago, he was one of the best left wingers in the league. You know what I mean? And Klopp's calling him generation, and he's in the Brazil squad. But at the same time, if you want to win the league, how long do you wait for him? You know, I think if you'd have got a big Saudi offer for him this summer, I think the club might have let him go. You know, but it looks like they're not going to go for him.
I think there's definitely some interest there. It's just how willing are the club to really refresh things. Listen, I talk of building on top. So if the possibility to build on top without losing players, that's number one for me. You know, but I think especially after the outlay on the Madueke, for example, hence the frustration, I think we find ourselves going into a place where the player sales need to come in. And, you know, it's all good and well throwing Zinchenko's name out there or Kivior's name. You know, they don't command top fees. Let's play, you know. And if we're looking at top fees, we're probably looking at a Martinelli, maybe a Trossard. And I can't lie to you, once upon a time I said I'd rather be keeping Trossard. We at this point need to be keeping both and then buying on top. But that's not realistic. That's not the, you know, that's not the way we do business. So that's why I'm pretty sure, confident that it'll be one more coming in, whether that's Eze or Rodrigo or someone else left field out of nowhere, which can happen. We've seen that happen many times. You know, you're linked to a certain player or two, and then you go get, you know, the one round the corner. I can't see past it being more than just one more player coming through the door now. And then there's an argument that look how many has already come through the door, how much change, you know, especially in a season where you need to now go win. Does that bode well? Does it bode well? I mean, the amount of names that, you know, we've already, you know, seen come through the door, and the amount of names we kind of still expect or want to see come through the door. Do you think a big change like that can have an impact on fortune?
I kind of agree with you. I think after Gyökeres, if that deal does happen, which hopefully it is, I think it might only be one more, and we might have to sell a few. But it's funny because when you look at it in the Arsenal team, I think the two hardest positions in this team to play under Arteta's system are the two positions that we need to sign, which is left wing and striker. If you look at left wing since Arteta's been in charge, he put Oba left wing in his first full season, played Lacazette through the middle. Oba fell off a cliff. Then he's gone Martinelli on the left. Martinelli's had one exceptional season, really. The rest he's been all right. Last season he was pretty poor. Trossard went on the left, does well there at times, but consistency, he's never really felt like he's the guy who can play there every week. So left wing's been a major problem. You look at up front as well. Again, Oba fell off a cliff. Lacazette got worse, and Ketia was not good enough. Havertz not consistent. So it's no surprise that they're the two positions that we're signing new players. What I would say to Arteta is, you have got to change the way this team plays when you bring those two players in. You can't bring GYOKERES in and expect him to play the way Havertz plays and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
dropping deep and he's on the right wing and all that. You can't have that. And playing left wing for Arsenal must be very hard because your fullback's not there. Your fullback's going into midfield. So if the ball breaks down and they're hitting you on the break, you're the guy that's got to run back and defend. I mean, you've been to watch Arsenal games in the stadium. For whatever people think about Martinelli, that guy does crazy amounts of defensive work.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't like to play left wing if you got to do that much work. So he's got to change the way that front three plays because our team is too built around Saka. It's all around Saka, the right hand side. Saka with Timber, Odegaard drifts there, that little triangle. It's all, everything's got to happen over that side, and we're predictable. And you saw that with PSG. They put 2 or 3 players on Saka and then left Martinelli 1v1 with Hakimi, and we couldn't hurt them. So I think Arteta this year, he's got to go back a little bit to that 22-23 season where Martinelli was scoring goals or whoever plays on that side. You get your GYOKERES through the middle. You got your Saka on the right. Because if you've got a front three like that, it's a nightmare to play against. Because, all right, you want to double up on Saka. That means Eze is 1v1. Or that means GYOKERES getting loads of space in the middle. So while
Yeah.
you're all looking at... So Arteta, for me, has got to change that system a little bit and allow us to be a bit more... Because I don't know about you, I thought Arsenal were boring for a lot of last season.
Yeah, yeah.
So many games I was like, yo, this is hard work watching this. Yet 2 years before that, we were arguably the best team in the league to watch, the most entertaining. So investing all this money in the attack, he's got to allow them to play with a bit of freedom and just, express yourself, score more goals and be a little bit more unpredictable. So
Do you think he
I
will?
think I think I think he has to. I think he has to because if he
No.
plays as defensive as we was last season, I don't see how we win the league. We dropped over 20 goals last season from the previous season in goals
Yeah,
scored.
yeah.
You've got to find a way of getting them 20 goals back. So he has to. We've got a good defense, bro. Our defense is good. We conceded the least goals. Our goalkeeper won the Golden Glove. You've got Rice, you've got Zubimendi for protection. I think we can trust that back four and the midfield to protect them. So now it's got to be Odegaard, the 2 wingers, and the striker have got to be concentrating more on attacking and damaging the opposition. So we've got a good record against the big teams. It's the Evertons
Great
and the
record.
Brentfords and the Brightons, bro. That's where we lose the title. So you hope
Yeah,
that a man like GYOKERES, I saw somebody saying the other day, oh, GYOKERES don't score that many goals against the top clubs. I said, bro, it ain't the top clubs I'm worried about. It's Fulham and Brentford and Brighton. They cost us the title when
yeah,
they're low blocking and we can't break them down. You know what I mean? I remember going to watch the Everton game with you, I think around December, 0-0. And we're like, we could
yeah,
be on this pitch for 3 days, we would not score. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So you need somebody that can win you those games. So I think if Arteta, he clearly knows the attack is what's needed, whether we agree with Madueke or not. 50 million on him. GYOKERES is going to cost 60, probably as a 60. You're talking, 160, 70 million on attacking players. So he needs to, I think he
Even
knows.
even Zubimendi, bro. I mean, I don't know how much you know of him, probably more than me in terms of watch time, minutes played. But he's key here because we know of what I know of him is he can slow it down. But what I'm more interested in him is he can speed it up. Because I think it all starts there. It starts at who picks the ball up there. Number one, I think Zubimendi being there means Odegaard needs to get the hell out of that position. Stop coming to collect the ball
100%.
from the centre backs. We've brought in a midfielder that apparently this is one of his strongest attributes. He's going to collect the ball. If he needs to move it quick, if he can move it quick, he's going to move it quick. If it's more of a methodical build-up, he can do that too. But Odegaard, you stay in your position like 22-23 season and just keep on picking it up there, turning and attacking, being more
Yeah,
direct. So I think Zubimendi here, in terms of how we
he's
play,
vital.
it might be the most key of the lot. he might be key to finding Martinelli's best form back. He might be key to helping Odegaard return to his best. He might be key to getting Madueke into one-on-one positions, because from what I've seen of Madueke, that's by far his biggest strength. Give him some space one-on-one with a defender, and he might cook. So for me,
Yeah.
Zubimendi is probably, and Gyökeres. I mean, you've already spoken of Gyökeres and what he needs, different to Havertz, different to Marino, different to Sesko when people were comparing him. For me, it looks like Zubimendi is the key here. I don't know if you disagree, agree. I don't know if you've seen more than him of me to know, like, what to expect. But am I wrong in that? Is it because we often got stuck last season in we need a striker, and I think that was the case without a shadow of a doubt for at least 2 years, a year before that, right? But slowly but surely, on top of that need for a striker, I think the midfield were exposed a little bit in terms of what can you do in sticky situations? What technical ability can you show? Now, all right, Rice showed it with free kicks, but in open play, I feel like we actually struggled quite a bit in terms of, creating something out of nothing in the biggest of games. Zubimendi, is he the most key of the lot?
You know what? You make a great point there, because I mean, in terms of watching Zubimendi, I can honestly say now I've probably barely watched 10 games of him live. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an expert on him either. I watched a couple Champions League games, couple La Liga games, and, watched him recently for Spain. I think we can all see, you saw against Portugal in that Nations League game, he's brilliant on the ball. Like in that game, I thought he was top class. I suppose it's whether you can transfer that to the Premier League, because the Premier League, it's just a different proposition, isn't it? Burnley away in December on a Tuesday night when some guy's trying to elbow you in the face, it's a bit different sometimes, man. But I think you look at it in that role, because it's funny, growing up, to me, a number 6 was just a guy that ran you down and won the ball back. But nowadays, number 6 is like pivotal to these managers. You look at City last year, they fell apart without Rodri. You look at Real Madrid, a lot of the conversation now is that they haven't replaced Toni Kroos, and that's why they're too easy to play against in midfield, because they give the ball away too much. So Zubimendi's level of performance is going to be vital, because if Zubimendi's not playing well, we either put Rice back there or we put Norgard there, and neither one of them are that great on the ball in terms of starting the attacks, because obviously Partey's gone. So I think a lot of our success this season will be down to how well Zubimendi does, and I think he's going to do well. I've just got a feel. I just think he's very good on the ball.
That's why I think Eze is so important for me in terms of profile and the quality, because I rear away from talking about him on the left wing. I talk about him as competition for Odegaard, but then there's games where, in my opinion, we've got the best cleaner DM in terms of tackling, intercepting, in terms of securing that area in a Declan Rice. We just haven't seen that in an Arsenal shirt because he's been utilized elsewhere. But in terms of the 6 he is and the 6 he was coming into the club, he has all the attributes to allow for Eze and Odegaard to play in front of him, and that's another option I'd like us to have. Because we tried it years ago with Odegaard and Emil Smith-Rowe, a couple of games. It didn't really work. We never actually tried it with Vieira and Odegaard. And the 8s we brought in, Havertz, Marino, they've been more, robotic, stiff type of 8s than the free-flowing ones. So Zubimendi, for me, he's that, tempo setter, dictator, controller, conductor in that position. But if we have an Eze there as well, and you have a Declan Rice in the 6 with Eze 8 carrying the ball, I mean, it's not just passes between the lines that get you up the pitch. It's players with the ability to drop a shoulder, go either way, carry the ball, dribble past a few players, and I think Eze has that. So that's why the Eze one's so important for me. That's why I can't do the whole Eze, even though I've got a poll saying if it's only one, is it Eze, Rodrigo? I think they bring what they bring is so different, but so needed in very different ways. Because yes, they're both ball carriers, but I think one suits central more, and one will definitely suit coming off the left more, because we've seen the quality, he has in terms of that tricky type of winger that Rodrigo is. Whereas Eze, he can bring that much needed vim. We ain't really had vim in the midfield. That's probably a
Yeah.
word I'd use if it's even a word, but people know what I'm talking about. Eze has a bit of vim. We don't have that anymore. I mean, what player in midfield has vim?
Yeah, like yeah, we don't know what the word means, but we know what it's supposed to mean. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I remember when we played Palace at home. I don't think it was last season. It was the season before, and I did the watch along for it. And I said, I remember during the watch along, I said, "Yo, he is dog walking Rice around the pitch, bro." I said, nah, Rice can't get near him.
Mhm.
Like he's dropping shoulders on him, he's drifting past him. I said, we got to get this guy to Arsenal. And then obviously last season, I thought was one of his best seasons. FA Cup final, winning goal. Look at the volley he scored against us as well. I think Eze is genuinely made for Arsenal. Everything he's got, we need. We need an attacking midfielder that can carry the ball. He's strong. He can shoot from distance. He's a totally different profile to Odegaard. And I think in them games when you're playing against a low block and it's 0-0 and you're struggling to create, at times you could put Eze and Odegaard in the 10 roles. If you're dominating the ball, you don't need to go like for like. You say, okay, we'll play one DM and play both of them because we need
Mhm.
to create a chance here. So even
Even
though
the
I'm saying Rodrigo, I want Eze equally as much. I was just more saying for the left wing role, I think Rodrigo is more of a winger than Eze, but ideally we need both of them. But Eze would be an outstanding signing for us.
and the story, bro. The club absolutely love
Oh,
stuff. The club would come out with the most cringiest of videos, but you know it will bang on socials. They'll have Eze as a kid getting dropped and it not
I'd
looking
be
good for
crying.
him. Yeah, then he'll have lifting the cup with Palace and then walking back through the doors at Arsenal, and it's the return. It's you'll get that PR will be PRing at the highest of rates.
Yeah.
They'd love that. I can't lie to you. You can see it
Yeah,
already, bro. So if just for that, I think it's gonna happen. At least the
it
bid's gonna
needs to
get.
happen.
It needs to happen, bro. Because you know what? As much as I laugh, the club will definitely play on that. It is a great story.
It
And
is, man.
it's a story that you'd love to not end with Eze coming back. Love to end with the Arsenal winning the Premier League again, and
Yeah,
Eze being part of that upon his return. Playing his part in that, whether it's a bit part or whether it's the biggest of parts. Who really cares once you get your hands on that title or that major come the end of the season? So the story is nice. The story is, you lot didn't rate me once upon a time. I'm back to show you, what you've maybe missed over these few years. That some in the mud, but some with the highest of hopes. So it is a nice story.
it is. It
There is
is.
a there is something there for Eze to kind of get his teeth into in terms of that motivation. This club dropped me. This was my club. Now I'm back, and now I'm back important. They've spent 60 million on me. I'm coming back as a key piece to try to take what this club have been over the last 2-3 years over the line. So yes, Arsenal will play on it, and it'll be perfect for them, which adds likelihood to it happening. But in
Yeah.
terms of what it is, that sort of mentality, I've spoken of Gyökeres' mentality recently in terms of siding off United early on, even though they probably offer more, not being interested in Saudi, even though they'll definitely offer more. The mentality that he wants to come to a club that's yet to win, by the way, it's not coming in for easy trophies, but be that difference maker in winning. I think Eze has a very different motivation, but equally, it's that type of mentality that not just the quality we talk of these players, it's that what's in there as well that I think matters with them
100%.
coming in. And I think Eze has that, he has that reason to come here and just go mad.
100%, bro. Like, and as you was talking about the Vim thing, I've said this many times. Like, how many players in this Arsenal team are you like desperate to watch on a Saturday afternoon?
Yeah.
Hardly any of them. Being realistic, I mean, I love Saka as a player. So even Saka's not that exciting. It's what he produces that we love, and we love the personality. Alexis Sanchez was a player that made you run to your seat. So you know what I mean? You wanted to Mesut Ozil when he was at
Yeah.
his best, and then passes, and oh my, Van Persie when he was at it, Alba maybe when he was at it. Eze is one of those players in my eyes where you're like, nah, imagine Eze in the number 10 Arsenal shirt, bro.
Mad.
Nutmegging people, and imagine his first goal at the Emirates. Boyhood fan, released at 30. Like you said, the story it's too good to turn down for Arsenal from every angle. Like,
Yeah.
I just think he'd be a great signing. And the point you made there, I think, applies to a lot of our players, because one of the reasons I've wanted Gyökeres so much at Arsenal is his story is very similar. Like, he was at Brighton, didn't get in the first team, gets released, ends up dropping to the Championship. People forget Gyökeres was in the same academy side as Ben White at Brighton.
Yeah.
So he's seen Ben White in defence. Look at this rise in his career. End up at Arsenal, 50 million, England squad, playing Champions League. He's thinking, I've had to go to Coventry, bro, in the Championship, losing the playoff final, which he lost at Wembley. Got his move to Portugal, done his thing. Oh, one season wonder, Darwin Núñez done it. He goes, all right, second season, even more goals.
Yeah.
Champions League hat trick. You know what I mean? Now the move's coming. So I feel like Gyökeres like an animal, just waiting to be let loose. Like, let me go in the Prem and just bag goals. You look at Zubimendi, turns down Liverpool, gets heavily criticised. Oh, this guy loves the mountains, won't leave Spain. But he obviously had a plan in his head. I'm going to wait 12 more months, then I'm going to go to Arsenal. Arteta's from the same part of Spain. He obviously felt that connection with him, decided to go to Arsenal. So Zubimendi's got a point to prove. Gyökeres got a point to prove. Even Madueke would have seen on social media what's happened. Like, yo, these lot are not backing you at all, bro. You're going to actually really have to perform to get these fans on your side. So I think there's a lot of players there with a lot of hunger where they're going to have to prove themselves. And it's better than bringing in Willian, who's won everything,
Yeah.
who's got no hunger, who's basically retiring at the club. You know, same with Sterling. Those guys, they're at the back end of their career. They should be winding down, not coming to Arsenal. So I like the kind of characters that we're going for and the reason. But we need another one or two that lift us and get us a bit more excited.
And you know what softens? I won't call it a blow, because I hope hopefully Madueke knows and sees between the lines, because you know it's not about him, right?
Yeah.
But still use it as motivation, because in my opinion, there's no bigger motivation for the most elite athletes than doubt. You know, doubt or what some people might perceive as being a hater or whatever. Many a great player, most great players, you know, have moments like, you know, similar, where they're doubted, or it doesn't look like it's going to go well, and that, you know, that molds them into a better person, character, player, athlete, whatever it is. So hopefully he does, but at the same time knows it's nothing personal against him. It's more the club. So what he can do is come in, you know, and do his thing. And, you know, a few games people will forget, especially the way, you know, we move in terms of songs and, you know, chants and whatnot. You do your thing
Yeah.
early on in that first 6 games against the, you know, the big teams away from home, especially, you know, people are going to slowly but surely forget. Use it as motivation, but a softener to what I thought would have been the impact of a Madueke signing, which was Ethan Nwaneri contract maybe not going the way we would have hoped. It looks like that was, you know, that was incorrect, and it looks like that one is going to get signed, sealed, delivered. Fabrizio's
Yeah.
tweeted a couple of times in the last couple of days saying progress has been made, and he expects it to be done in the next 48 hours, and that's big for me, bro, because number one, we need to keep him. He's a quality player. Don't need to rely on him. I maintain that stance from last year, even though we know a lot more of him now, and he's come in and he's scored 9 goals from the wing and so on. Yeah, we know we've got a player on our hand. Don't rely on him, but give him the minutes that he deserves, his quality deserves, and you know, we will need this coming season. So the Nwaneri news to me is big news, because
100.
any fallout from any of these moves that led to Nwaneri not signing a contract, it just doesn't, you know, put your platform at the best level it can be moving forward. Because again, don't rely on him, but give him enough to, you know that there's a future here, there's a gateway here, there's an opportunity here. Do you think with the Madueke signing, Nwaneri is now seen, like many people believe, he's now seen as maybe a more central option? And does that go against the Eze stuff now? Because if Nwaneri is the central option, then is a more winger type profile in Rodrigo favorable over an Eze? Or do you think Nwaneri is still going to pick up his minutes on the right centrally and Madueke is a left wing? I mean, how do you see the Nwaneri stuff fitting into everything?
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because if we sign Eze, let's say Odegaard was out for a few months, something like, surely you would then play Eze in the 10
Yeah.
and put maybe Martinelli back on the left, which makes you feel like, where's Nwaneri's minutes going to come from? I think I thought Nwaneri did well on the right last season when Saka was out, but
Mhm.
all those reports we were seeing was kind of that they're saying Arteta still sees him as a central attacking midfielder, not really a right winger. So he obviously felt he did well, but maybe not well enough, which maybe describes why his game time was so limited at the end of the season. I think we've just got to look at the overall thing. If you've got, let's say you got Martinelli and Eze on the left, they're your two left wingers. You've got Odegaard and Nwaneri as your two attacking midfielders, and then you've got Saka and Madueke on the right. Just collectively as a six, I just think you've got brilliant options there. You've got great rotation there. You know, Eze can go in the 10, Nwaneri can go on the right, Madueke can go on the left. They can all sort of move around. And I think that's more how Arteta's looking at it, that we can change it up if we have to. So I do think Nwaneri will be viewed as central, but you just think that Eze would surely be saying, I don't mind playing on the left, but I still want to challenge Odegaard in that central area, because I think we all know that's Nwaneri's that's Eze's best position,
Yeah.
rather than playing on the left. But he might be thinking that playing Eze on the left with him drifting inside and playing a bit more central anyway, that might actually help Odegaard, because then he's got somebody that he can lend the ball to. And because I think when you're playing against Arsenal, you kind of know that Odegaard's the most creative player. After him, Saka's going to put crosses in. There's not that much else.
Yeah.
So you might get a situation where Eze and Odegaard can sort of play together on the pitch anyway. So I just think Arteta wants loads of options, the way Pep's got loads of options. You know, Savio plays on the right, on the left, and Doku, and I just think he wants crazy amounts of rotation all over the place, because we were so short last season. You know, every week I'm looking on the bench, these people there I've never heard of, youth team players that never
Yeah.
come on the pitch anyway. Some of
Yeah.
them have left out. That Butler Adeji, I've hardly seen the guy play. We've released him.
Yeah. There's a few youngsters on the bench just for show, for numbers
Just for
more than
show,
anything.
yeah. Salah-Ad-Din got released as well, who they said he was actually quite good. But so yeah, I think Arteta just wants options all over the place so he can rotate.
Stark contrast to 12 months ago when we're going into the season without any options and Sterling coming in. So maybe lessons have been learned, and maybe the next few weeks to come are going to be the biggest few weeks, and everything we are seeing this week and the last few weeks gone will pale in comparison, because then we are moving into unprecedented territory. You know, if we do get the Eze and the Rodrigo, which we all want, there's no truth or had reality to how close these players are. It's all just you're looking at the positions, you're looking at the needs and wants, and when you reeled off a couple like Saka right wing, Madueke behind, Odegaard midfield, Eze behind, Declan Rice, I'd even say Eze for the 8 as well is an option.
Yeah.
And then you got, imagine a Rodrigo on the left with a Martinelli backing him up, and then GYOKERES up top with a Havertz or Marino back. It starts bulking out a bit. Trossard's one name that's come up that it looked like Fenerbahce were interested. That got thrown out. Nothing's come of that in the last few days, and then some more, rumors picking up that he is the one that will probably, seek pastures new. Will probably move on in the next few weeks to accommodate for another player coming in. Are you happy about that? I mean, I said on my stream yesterday that since he come in behind Saka, I'd say he's probably been our second best attacker, all things considered, all context applied. He comes in as a backup. He takes Nketiah's position early on. He comes in clutch. He scores big goals when need be. He takes Martinelli's position at points this season. He's been exposed that, as you know, he's not a starter week in, week out at this level. But when I look all around the attack, the front three positions in particular, since Trossard's come in, he's, in my opinion, been the second most efficient attacker. I think that goes without debate. Best, maybe some people might argue Martinelli still holds some weight. But all in, I think Trossard's second best attacker. Losing him in a season where I feel like you've got to retain people like that, people that can come off the bench and change it up or do something. Are you happy with that? Or are you looking more at maybe we should look at Martinelli or not look at any exits in the attacking line?
I think one of them have got to go. The impression I get, I reckon Trossard's the one saying maybe he wants to go.
Yeah,
I don't, because if you read the reports, Arsenal have offered him a new contract. Trossard's been a
he's one, bro. Sorry to cut, but he's one that I actually understand if he come and said, like, and you know what, I need more minutes. I know, my minutes are probably going to be sacrificed a bit with the changes. I get that. But what I'd say to him is, bro, see out your year. You can go and sign on to whoever you want to sign on and get that bag. See out this year because you can play a big part in something special. So give us this year, leave on a free come the end of it. Because in my opinion, that's probably the best way to go about it. With Trossard, a year left, go out with a bang. When you're called upon, come in and do your thing. 2-footed, good in tight spaces, still very different to every other attacker we have in terms of profile. I'd probably be entertaining that more than a 30, 35 mil. I'd be saying stay a year and go take your signing on fee and bag for us.
Do you not think though, like, because we've been so bad at selling players for years,
Yeah,
Berta's probably saying, look, man, you've got to sell Martinelli or Trossard if you want to bring in Rodrigo or Eze. And I think if somebody had offered big money for Martinelli, they would have accepted it. But it feels to me like maybe Trossard can get a move easier. He's only got a year left, and I think Arsenal have got to try and get away from that, allowing players to walk out. We've done it too often. I mean, people, Partey's gone this year. There's a long list of players that have walked out the door for free. They're probably thinking, look, we paid 27 million for Trossard. If we can get 25, 30 million back for him after what's he been here? Three seasons? Something like 2.5, 2.5 seasons. Get your money back after 2.5 seasons. I'd say it's kind of served its purpose, really, in terms of
don't you want him
you
off
need.
the bench, though? Like, I can't lie. I
But
like
this is what I'm
Trossard.
saying. I don't think he wants the bench. I think he's going to them saying, if you look at Trossard's situation, he's 30. He turns 31 in December. This is probably his last World Cup for Belgium, I would imagine. He could be at 34, 35, but maybe not. He's probably thinking, if I sit on Arsenal's bench this season, I'm sitting on Belgium's bench. If I'm lucky, that's the best I can probably get. If he goes to Fenerbahce, or I even seen him get linked with Bayern Munich, although I couldn't see him going. I think Bayern are going for somebody a bit more established. I get you. I think Trossard is a very, very good impact player off the bench, but I just get the impression he wants more regular football. Martinelli's on a big deal. They're looking at Eze. They're looking at Rodrigo. He's probably thinking this is going to get even worse for me. If he can't, I look at it like this with Trossard, right? Martinelli's been pretty poor last season. And Trossard still didn't really displace him out of the team, where Martinelli's just eating bench every week.
Yeah.
If you haven't took Martinelli out of the Arsenal team, what hope have you got if Eze or Rodrigo turning up? You're in an even worse situation because Martinelli's not even that good, and you haven't held down. Trossard, to me, by now should be Arsenal's starting left winger. The problem is when he gets a run of games in the team, you see why he's a super sub. Because he can't do it over 4 or 5 games in a row.
I offer you two things today: 60 M's for Martinelli or 30 M's for Trossard.
Yo, why are you doing that? There ain't no 60 M's on the table for Martinelli.
Bro, there's money floating, bro. They're offering 67 for Diaz, bro. Like, come on, man.
Diaz is better than Martinelli, bro.
That's why I said 60, bro. So I brought it down a bit. We're negotiating here, bro. I'm trying to. It's the first offer on the table. Let's say 55 then. Let's say 50. But we just signed Madueke.
Bro, I guarantee you, Bayern Munich are desperate for a left winger, They've just had that offer turned down for Diaz. I bet they don't go anywhere near Martinelli. They won't come to Arsenal go, yo, do you want that 60 for Martinelli? They'll go, no, we're cool, man.
But
We've seen that guy.
Doesn't that tell you the answer though? Because I think Trossard, even though you're right, he didn't displace Martinelli, and it was there for him to displace. He's still proven his worth off the bench, and we know to win big honors, you need players like that off the bench. Trossard for me is the Sylvain Wiltord. He could be the Sylvain Wiltord of the side that comes in, gets the big goals, and you leave it Sutton and his name goes down in history, or like the Origi at Liverpool. Without him on the bench, everything then becomes we got exciting players maybe on the bench, but we don't have someone that is known for coming off the bench and being that threat. Like that is a rare kind of. I said last year he's the best 12th man in the league. Obviously, it was our fault for then, leaving a squad so light and open that he becomes more relied upon, and then that mantle of 12th man is no longer relevant because he's a starter. But I think you need that 12th man. You need that sort of a player that can come on across the front line. He's got something about him. He's a bit clutch. He's got a bit of confidence. Remember that early goal against Villa or something, and then the chest out, like, start me kind of thing. Didn't go well for him in terms of starting, but I feel like you need that. And the thing is, I think Martinelli is younger. Martinelli has more potential. He has more years in front of him. But I feel like in terms of the squad where you need to win now, there's always a player like Trossard in those squads that you don't need him starting week in, week out, but he's played a part across along that journey.
Yeah, like it's a tough one, man. I think the problem with Trossard as well, he's got a year left, so you've probably got to extend his deal to keep him. So then, if you sell Martinelli, you're keeping Trossard 31, 32 years of age. It's a tough one, man. Like Trossard, he's not gonna get any better either. Like I feel like I can look at Trossard and go, you're at the maximum of your career. Now, Martinelli might be at the maximum, and that's the danger. If you hang on to the guy too long, he might not get any better. But listen, if somebody offered 60 million for Martinelli, you'd probably have to take it, because for a guy that you paid £7 million for, or 8 million, and I don't even think he's worth 60 million either, the way he's playing at the moment. But I'll be very surprised if somebody offered us 60 million for him. So I think if you haven't got that offer on the table, I think you've got to get rid of Trossard, just because I think the club will be saying you can't keep two left wingers and then go and add Eze or Rodrigo to it. So I think Trossard, if Trossard leaves, I kind of feel like you've done a good job and you've moved on. I wish you well. 27 million, you've been a good squad player.
Yeah, less wages as well though. But this is me negotiating again. But let me go. We're coming up to an hour, people. Look at Matisse. Jackson can play off the left. Shut up. Are you eating enough this weekend, bro? 50 M's for Madueke and 100 M's for that Club World Cup.
Oh, by the way, when's your next Big Six show, man?
We done one last night. Did you?
Oh, no. Matisse right now is in his bag, innit, bro? Like, he's in a situation you just cut. There's not a lot. I saw a lot of Chelsea shirts outside last night and yesterday.
Yeah, as you do. They've built something over the last 20 years. They're no longer that club we were just looking at once upon a time, saying, these lot, they're nothing to worry about. Bro, they got some European heritage in them, but I don't know how they do it. They pull them out the bag. I thought the Roman era was it. Anyway, let's not let us. Matisse, go record something, bro. Go record something. Have it in the catalog, man. We're about to not wrap up, but do the super chats. Nearly 5K in the building. So people, first things first.
Come on.
Curtis Shaw TV. Link in the description. Go over there. He's live at 1:30 as well. So straight off the back of this.
No, not today. Not today. I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Oh, shit.
No, I'm waiting.
Just let me lie, bro. Just let me lie. Let it land, and we'll find out, bro. I thought you was live. No. It is what it is. He's not live, but go subscribe. Same way. Hit the like button here. Same way. We should be. Let me see how many likes we're on. We're not even on 1,000 likes, people. There's nearly 5,000 in the building. So let's get to 2,000 likes. And mods, you can time out Matisse for 5 minutes, and I know that you'll enjoy doing that. So I give you permission. Time out Matisse for 5 minutes. Fastest mod first. Let me get the super chats in. TH14 says White and Calafiori are up there in money spent, but our depth. Neither came in as depth though. Calafiori came in as the new left back. Let's not forget that. But Miles Lewis Skelly just excelled, and Calafiori's injuries along the way hasn't helped. And Ben White came straight into the first team, centre back and then right back. So both were not brought in as depth. Aaron says, big up the OGs. I don't have an issue with Noni, and I actually think he can be a good squad player. But we needed Rodrigo and Eze, and this deal stops the Rodrigo deal unless we cash in on both left wingers. That's the worry. But we will see. I think Eze shouldn't be a long deal to really be able to wrap up if we're really interested in him. Release clause, they're open to talking. Eze's open to the move. We're Arsenal, they're Palace. We should be able to get that one done and then leave ourselves, maybe observing the market, domino effect. Let's see what happens, what falls into place, and then go in strong. Because, I still feel like we're 2 players shy from really believing that we're going to win this league. Sinner says Gyökeres will free up Martinelli on the left to utilize his pace without the pressure of scoring. Eze, Kai, and Noni will replace Leandro and Sterling. We need a squad. You've just thrown Kai's name in there, though. We've had Kai, though. Eze, Noni. Okay, Eze. Okay, I mean, if Eze comes in and Trossard leaves, then I understand it. But again, Trossard and Eze are very different players. And Trossard's strengths are very different to Eze's strengths. Eze's a starter, in my opinion, and someone that can come off the bench and bring tempo to the attack. Whereas Trossard's someone that can come off the bench and bring a real threat in and around the box. So again, I feel like we're losing something that we're not necessarily going to have in the resources in the back pocket next season. Aran adds, surely sales of Zinni, Reece to Palace, Vieira, Lokonga, maybe Trossard or Gabby opens up enough space to bring Rodrigo and Eze. I think the Jesus injury has put us in a situation to only sign one. I mean, that's if those, I fear that, we will still have a couple of these names in terms of Vieira, Lokonga, Reece, Zinni next season. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you think the outgoings will ramp up now, or do you feel like it's been so quiet that it's hard to envision us actually selling 4 or 5 players now?
I think Reece might get a move. He seems to have a couple clubs linked with him. I think Zinni's hard to sell, man. 150 grand a week. I know AC Milan were linked with him, but them clubs ain't going to pay him that. And Sambi, I mean, Jesus, how many loans has that guy had? And none of them have ever said, you know what I mean? Vieira's been on loan. The hope was he goes to Porto, does well, they sign him back. Well, they don't want to sign him. So, and who's the other one? Probably, who else would you sell maybe? Probably just them really for now, innit? Vieira, Lokonga, Reece.
Yeah. Athletic put in Kivio's name, and I'm not hearing that, man. I'm not hearing.
I saw that. I see a lot of people have said Kivio, because I wonder if he's going to try and sort of have Calafiori as that left centre back cover and left back cover.
I prefer to see Calafiori central, if I'm honest, but at the same time, all the talk of the complete defense, let's leave it complete and move and complete another area of the pitch. Like, Kivio's back up to Gabriel, Calafiori to Lewis Skelly, Mosquera to Saliba, Ben White, Timber. Like, that's meant to be complete now. So I wouldn't start messing around with it. Because then if you have a problem with Gabriel and Lewis Skelly, then we've only got Calafiori then all of a sudden. So I wouldn't be messing about with Kivio. I think he deserves his spot in the squad, deserves his spot at Arsenal. Whether it's last year coming in for Gabriel or the year before coming in at left back, he helped us along the way to nothing, but that's not on him. Eshwa says everyone's underrating Zubi. This shifts massively in how Arteta is going to play. Like Pep, Shirky, or Liverpool Frimpong Kirkes, Odegaard's influence will be less. Okay, so you're looking at Liverpool through the fullbacks, Pep and potentially Shirky's arrival and emergence as a top talent potentially again with him. So this is why I asked about Zubimendi earlier. Is the key to the summer, to the way we move forward, going to be Zubimendi? And is it is that signing the one that opens up a couple of the players we've already got and a couple of the players we've got coming in? Because we've talked about profiles and how different we're going to have to be. That's why, bro, when I'm hearing Gyökeres doesn't score enough headers, bro, do you know how annoying that was? We've got enough players that score headers. So because the next one doesn't score headers, that means we shouldn't bring him in, when the point of bringing him in is to have something completely different to what we got. People was really trying to bring down the reputation of the lad. 100 goals in 2 years. Couldn't care less if he scored 52 with the back of his right knee. I really,
you know what I'm saying?
I swear to you, I don't care. Gunner down under. Big up, fellas. Eze is a proven electric player in the Prem. Rodrigo is a better left winger, but Eze would cover multiple positions. Knowing Arteta's track record for utility players, Eze makes more sense. But again, this is where the Rodrigo disrespect has gone so far that people forget. This is a player that's played right wing at the highest level, out of position for Real Madrid. Champions League, La Liga, top level. He's won them games. He's a left winger. So Rodrigo is a guy that can play both wings. And even last season, Ancelotti used him a lot as a second striker. He was using him a lot with Mbappe up top in a 4-4-2-ish type of. It wasn't out 4-4-2, but if you watch Real in some parts last season, Rodrigo was like a number 2 in attack. So Rodrigo also has the ability to play in multiple positions, and some even say that his qualities suit a 10. I don't agree. I think he's a winger, but you know, the disrespect on Rodrigo, but the guy has done it at a higher level. And yes, Eze is the one we've probably more closely connected to because we watch him week in, week out. He's closer to the league we love and watch religiously. But let's not put Rodrigo down. Rodrigo not only plays multiple positions, but he's been the water carrier, the hard worker for that Real Madrid attack. All these things bode well for Mikel as well.
Yeah. I love Rodrigo, man. Top player.
Yeah. We've been talking about him a little while. I remember
Kvara and him were the two we've always been like, if you can ever get one of them, we missed the first one. This is the second one.
Yeah. For me, those were the two that I was looking at.
Yeah.
If Martinelli never picked it up when we were talking last summer, it was those two. And Kvara goes for 60. We signed Madueke for 52. So let's see what happens with Rodrigo because, it's looking funny in the light. It's looking funny in the light. Maya says, Nelly's so poor, it's just excuses. No overlapping left back because most times he can't beat players 1v1. Painful to watch. Eze's skill set is perfect for us on the left. I don't disagree. I think we need that skill set, both centrally and on the left. D. Jones says, club standard in the gutter. They may not get the players I want, but Mikel has been backed. If he wins nothing, I don't want him fired. I want him sued. I want him taking the call. But I agree, though. I mean, this is the season to get it in now. Turks, you said we need a couple more signings. Can you expand? Let me know who that couple are. Surely you're joking, because I'm even bored of saying the two names. Eze and Rodrigo would be the players named, or the profiles, if there's others out there, that I'd be bringing into the side. I think we need upgrade on the left, and I think Eze suits us more centrally. So that would be the two. I don't know if you're joking, though, because maybe it's a sarcastic question that you've heard me banging on about it so much. Adar says it's one thing having a Ferrari, another having a driver's license to drive it. Gyökeres is certainly a bagsman, but how sure are you that Arteta knows how to use bagsman? I'm not sure, but this is how you find out. You don't find out by avoiding getting a bagsman. You find out by getting one, 30, and seeing how it plays out. And that's where we're at now. No excuses of we need a bagsman anymore. Moving forward, we've got one, and we've also got a space invader and a guy that can slot in and score headers if need. We've got everything right now. So, 12 months from now, we should be very happy with the outcome of the season ahead. Ali says, big up the OGs. If Eze and Rodrigo signed and got injured, who would you prefer to start in their place? Martinelli or Trossard or Madueke at left wing? It's Martinelli for me.
Yeah, same. Because I just think with a better striker, you might get a better Martinelli.
Yeah, that's the hope.
That's the hope.
It goes against what I said about keeping Trossard. I mean, that's because I see Trossard as a rotation bench 12th man. If we're talking 2-3 games, yes, Trossard. But if we're talking season enders, then Martinelli would be the one I go
Do
towards.
you know why I'm laughing? Yeah, because in one of your interviews last season after the game, you said the funniest thing of the season
What did I
about
say?
Martinelli and Jesus' knee being
Oh,
linked. Yeah, and
Are
I
they
swear down, yeah, I was crying with
are they
laughter.
connected, brother? That's what I said.
I said Jesus done his knee.
Yeah, Jesus done his knee. How you feeling the after effects, bro? I flipped
Oh
that.
my days! I swear, when you said that, yeah, I was crying. So yeah, but
I've never seen a man fall off from another man's ACL before. I've never seen that. But
that's
here we are.
crazy.
Conjoined twins. I think I might have said Siamese knees or something. I don't know. I said some shit.
Oh, it's bad.
Mad. Mad. Red Square says Rodrigo is nowhere near as good as people who don't watch La Liga think. He played in his favorite position when Vinny was out and still didn't produce. Okay, you know, this whole people that watch La Liga thing. I've seen enough Real Madrid fans and people that watch La Liga that are shocked about Rodrigo being the fall guy for this. So it's not. It doesn't come down to a case of if you've watched La Liga. Maybe it comes down to a case of preference. I mean, in the Club World Cup, for example, look how Vinny's been stinking and Rodrigo didn't even get a chance on that left. You know, so yes, Vinny's the man on that left side for Real Madrid, but Rodrigo's been the man on the right side for Real Madrid all these years. Let's not forget that. And you need that sort of a player when you've got a Vinny and an Mbappe or whoever it is. You need that sort of a player in Rodrigo's mentality, character side of things that doesn't mind not being the star of the show, but does his
Yeah.
thing behind the scenes to accommodate for the stars of the show. So yeah, I
Bro,
mean, I think
I honestly think Rodrigo is criminally underrated.
yeah,
Criminally, bro.
so do
Like
I.
he's very unlucky that Vinny plays left wing for his club and country. So Vinny's always going to be rated higher than him at Madrid, and that because Vinny is a moments player, and Vinny can have a quiet game and score a belter in a big game, and his profile's huge. But Rodrigo, in like technical ability and touch and dribbling and movement, look how many big goals he scored for Real Madrid as well. And
Yeah,
like you said, playing out of position, he's been in Champions League finals, he's won them. I think if you bring him to like Arsenal and play him left wing, give him that freedom, that belief you're a bigger player than you felt like in the past, I think his game can go up to another level. So
I agree.
I think he's a top player, Rodrigo.
I agree. I agree. That's why I'd hurt to see him at Chelsea, at Liverpool or City, because I think he has the potential to complete Liverpool or City, and he has the potential to really, light a fire at Chelsea in terms of what they've been having to deal with on the wings in the past 12, 18 months or so. YouTube Sinner clearing it up. He wasn't joking, but he thought he heard me say a couple more even after Eze. No, Eze and Rodrigo for me, those two profiles, those two players in particular next, and then put away the phone, light up the barbecue, get Edu round, and you lot can enjoy. But yeah, two more signings after Gyökeres. Eze, Rodrigo, perfect. Neil says Arteta will play Rice at left back or right back and frustrate us. I mean, it very likely could happen. Eze would be a bigger signing than Gyökeres. Do you mean impact? Do you mean name? Probably not name, but yeah, probably impact. Are you guys worried about Chelsea next season? I'm worried about us first and foremost, and then
Yeah.
after us, I'm worried about Liverpool and City. That's it.
Yeah.
Not not.
Chelsea have definitely improved. They might. I think they'll be in the mix, but I think if we do what we need to do, I'm not. I'm confident we would finish above them. If we don't do what we need to do, then it's kind of irrelevant anyway.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. I agree with that. Ryan says Jakub and Nelson 15 to 20 million. Oh, Jakub plus Nelson plus 15 to 20 million for Eze. I mean, I'll try and be keeping Jakub, Nelson. Yeah, why not? Vieira, yeah, why not? Lokonga, yeah, why not? But yeah, I mean, when you look at Eze's outlay as well, I don't think 60 mil, especially over 3 years, is a difficult one to do for us. I think it's well within our remit to be able to get that done. And I
yeah,
think we will sell some players inevitably. So we'll probably make back 30 to 50 mil somewhere down the line. So I think we can. Will we? That's another question, my bro. But what are you on today, though? You're not doing a live. What's the plan?
No, I'm gonna wait till later because they were saying they might announce Madueke today. So I said I'll wait. Plus, we haven't even had the here we go for GYOKERES yet, have we? So
Oh, we've had the soon here we go
we've
twice.
had the soon here we go. I need that here we go, bro. His agent's in London, and apparently they're haggling now over the add-ons, aren't they? They want the 10 million to be very easy to achieve, and we've offered
Ballon d'Or
more.
and Champions
Yeah,
League.
well, yeah, 5 million for the Ballon d'Or and 5 million for the treble. You know what I
Brother,
mean?
I said put 30 M's on that. If he wins Ballon d'Or, give 30 M's to Sporting because we would have won Saturn if our players winning Ballon d'Or. That's for sure.
Crazy, man. That GYOKERES deal, yeah. I don't know why. I love that signing. It's funny. It's a player that I haven't watched that much, but I just
It's
feel like it's gonna work.
exciting, bro.
Like he's just gonna
Exciting.
score goals. He's gonna bag. Like he's gonna score goals. And like you said, how often do Arsenal say we need a player? Let's buy the best player available in that position.
Yeah,
Doesn't happen often. And I just think
it's
I'm
true.
so glad that. Do you know the sad thing about the GYOKERES signing in a little way? I think once a lot of the fans heard that Arteta wanted Sesko, they went into this whirlwind of Sesko. So then when it's flipped and we've ended up going for GYOKERES, it's like they're not fully on the GYOKERES thing because they've got into this, oh, Arteta wanted Sesko, so I'm going to justify Sesko. So they've been capping for him
Yeah.
for so long. It's like they don't even know how to enjoy the GYOKERES signing. Do you know what I mean? Which is crazy. So
Now some people are floundering saying it's Turkish. If GYOKERES doesn't work out, then you're accountable. All right.
yeah. Do you know
I
what I
think,
mean? Oh, you wanted GYOKERES, so
all
if you
right.
don't score 20 goals, it's your fault. The comments I'm getting as well, bro. I'm like, bro,
Kind of weird
Arteta
though.
still might mess it up somehow. You know what I mean? But
Exactly. You can't say for sure. We're
yeah,
not the experts. We're not paid 15 M's. Kevin
yeah,
says Chelsea winning mentality is back. We'll speak soon. Speak now, brother. Speak now. YouTube Sinner again says, I'm sure Amorim loses his job this season. I agree. I think Chelsea will suffer burnout. I think a City revival is on, but Rodri is in a fragile state. Yeah. Listen,
yeah,
I wouldn't take City's name out the Rodrigo hat. I think they will be interested somewhat when you look at Jack Grealish and how that one's ending and their left
yeah,
hand side. I think, yeah, City might still have business to do. Adar says Rodrigo's issue is not talent, but his league consistency is very poor, even at left wing. He's got the clutch gene, but data nerds and tacticals don't care about that much. Lucky we don't care about data nerds much either. So we're out here at a stalemate.
bro. Did you just see? Have you seen this thing here that Man City have signed £1 billion deal with Puma?
Yes, well, I saw Steve going mad in the group saying it's something about 100 million a year or something with Puma.
Yeah. What the hell, bro? I mean, I would not want to go back to Puma, man. I didn't. Them Puma kits were a mess.
Yeah,
But £1 billion, bro.
it must be the biggest deal, right?
Yeah, because I was looking. Ours is 600 million with Adidas. They
And
got £1 billion.
how many years?
Although saying that, yeah, ours is 8 years, 60 million a year. I think ours is.
And theirs is
No,
what, 10-year deal?
Theirs is 10 years, 60
So it's
to
what,
70,
10 mil? So it's 100 mil a year for them.
100
What was
million
our
a year.
6 PMs for I mean, we need to get better at that. Even some of our commercial deals pale in comparison to Tottenham's. So that's
Yeah.
something that they need to get right rather than keep on upping ticket prices and food prices and prices all around the club. Sort out some of these commercial deals that you've let, slump below Tottenham's at times over the
Mm.
last 10, 15 years. And then maybe that extra money, the 4 mil we need to secure this bloody deal, can come through the club. But yeah, new
Yeah.
merch out. You got a Caribbean merch yet?
Bro, I don't want that merch associated with Caribbean, bro. That
I know
ain't
they've taken the
Caribbean.
piss, innit? They've
You
taken
know
the
what I mean? I ain't having that. I don't know what that is, bro. That's bubble gum or something. I don't know what the hell that is. I ain't buying that much. Man,
they've
trying to
lost
say
it.
they've lost the plot. Do you know what I said? That looks like, when you used to be in like IT in school, but you couldn't go on the internet, so you just go on like paint and just splash paint on the on the
Yeah,
piece
yeah,
of
yeah.
paper. That's what they've done for this Adidas kit, bro. They've just thrown paint on it and said, "Yeah, put that out, man."
Let's see what you come out. You know the tie-dye when you drop it in water and pull it out and it's
Yeah,
just all over the gaff. I'm
B-Tech
with you,
hard
though.
in the paint like that, man. Just putting it in paint. Yeah, just sell this to them, man. I don't know
Forget
what
painting.
Adidas. Even this new away kit from Adidas, man. I'm not really feeling that kit. I think Adidas are going a bit mad, you know. I can't lie. I'm
Yeah,
ready to go back to Nike, you know. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm always
I think we're there now,
preferred the
man.
Nike kits, man.
I think we're there now. The third kit looks beautiful, the white and burgundy one,
Third
but
kit's nice. That should be the away kit, really.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, you're right. That Caribbean stuff they throw
No, no, no.
Caribbean.
I don't want
Yeah,
that having any associate. Bro, I thought they brought out a Pride kit. I thought that was
it looks
Pride of.
more like Pride. It looks
Do
more
you know what
like
I'm
Pride.
saying? So I don't want Caribbean connections to that kit, bro. Like
Because
keep
that one a
that.
couple years ago, green, white, green, yellow, black, perfect. Like you know the colors, you know what it represents,
Yeah.
and it hit just before Carnival. Even though Arsenal are masters of the art of dropping merch and tying it to things that people are close to, they've absolutely ruined it with the last one. Absolutely
Yeah.
ruined it.
I don't know what they've done with this one. Like some of the training kits and they bring them out so often, don't they, as well?
Yeah, I'm talking about it now. It might have released something yesterday. I haven't checked it. I haven't refreshed the Arsenal the direct or whatever it's called. Neither will I be.
The away kit comes out next week. They're playing in it apparently in the first game, the AC Milan game.
Okay,
The blue one.
bring out that white kit, man.
Yeah, the white kit's clean. I think that's out next month, start of next month.
Someone said it's based on the Brazil Carnival as the inspiration. Okay.
Yeah, they can claim that one.
Yeah, regardless, it's too much. It's too much.
It's way too much.
Couple more super chats before we round off, my bro. Rodrigo gives me Alexis Sanchez vibes. I mean, Sanchez, in my opinion, was the better player having come in, but I understand vibes wise. YouTube Sinner says Gyökeres will score minimum 15 in the Prem. It needs to be minimum 20, my brother. If it's 15 and we still win, then so be it. But at that price, minimum 20 in the league, minimum 30 all competitions, as long as he stays fit. Last one here from Ali. Regarding Kivio, this would be the best time to sell him as his depth and shown his quality when he starts, similar to Martinez after the FA Cup final. I mean, I'd rather win first before entertaining, selling a player that has stepped up. Because you sell him now, we'll be buying depth next season and wondering why we're spending the money again on a centre back rather than bringing in the next attacker we need. So yeah, I think you need to try and keep it as is as much as possible. On that note, super chat's done. People, love for the love, 4.8k still here. So hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you go over to Curtis Shaw TV. Link is in the description. Go subscribe there. He'll be back live again tomorrow. Actually, it might be later today. If the news drops like it's meant to drop, then more content to come, not only here but there as well. Show some love all around, people. Hit the like button. Let's get close to 2,000 likes, and we'll be back when we're back. We're off to Singapore next week, so probably won't do one before then, but out in Singapore we'll be together. So you know what, we'll do an in-person setting for the community. Let us know if you have any thoughts on what you want to see whilst we're out there, and we'll do our best to accommodate people. And if you are out there in Singapore and or Hong Kong, then let me know in the comment section. It would be great to link up with supporters and fans of the content. So yeah, Curtis, love, my bro. I'll see you when I see you. We'll talk again anyway. Community, love for the love. We're at. Peace.